And we're on.
And we're here. Hello, everybody. Welcome to Thick and Thin.
And welcome our guest, Pastor Keith Smith.
Thank you, guys. Pleasure to be with you.
Tabernacle of Praise, possibly, and it is said by many, the best church in the entire world. It's been voted.
It has been voted.
And it's
by some pretty prestigious voting.
Mariah Caddies.
I always say life's better at the top.
Hey.
Oh, and by the way, before we even start, I just want to point out that I wore my I love my pastor shirt. Yeah. What did you wear, Stephen?
You tried to one-up me. North Face, because I know he loves North Face.
Oh, okay. All right.
Yeah.
Because he's an outdoorsman.
Touche. That's fair.
Thank you for wearing that, Brent. I appreciate it.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
He did that on purpose.
Absolutely.
Yeah, he did.
He didn't tell me.
He's like, the one shirt I hate in my closet I'm going to wear tonight.
I haven't worn it but once and now.
Well, there you go.
And this is the second time.
Well, see, I don't have to try that hard to be his favorite.
Oh.
You should.
That's a good one. That's a good one.
Okay, everybody. We brought Pastor on here, so maybe for some people that don't really know him as well, can get to know him a little better.
Right. Have some
Find
fun.
out like how he ticks, where he's from, what he likes to do, things like that.
All right. Sounds fun.
And so we've got some questions for you. Do you want to do the first one? Or
No, Lord.
Okay.
Should I pray first?
And
should probably pray for, like that God would give me strength here?
First, I want to say
this
this is different because normally when we're sitting down like this, like you're kind of nervous, like, oh God, like what did we do? Like when we're in his office.
Yeah, and it happens so often.
Do you ever get the text from him and you see his name pop up and you're like, you start immediately thinking back like, what?
Jesus, what did I say?
Jeez.
What was the last podcast
on Facebook that I wasn't supposed to?
Our last video.
So quick confession, right? Sometimes I just like to do that to you guys when y'all come in
I believe that.
at 8 o'clock. Hey, can you come in the office for a second?
I'm over there sweating like what? Thinking back like what?
Yeah, I'll be right with
Go
you.
back in our video history. What did we post last week?
Reply back. Me no speak the English.
Yeah, all of a sudden I get these notifications of delete. I'm like, okay. That's funny.
All right, question number 1. You want me to ask it?
Sure, go for it.
All right.
Pastor.
Yes.
Being the shepherd of our church, tell the world.
It's starting out deep already.
Yes, it is.
Here it goes.
Shepherd. What it's like pastoring your obvious 2 favorite people.
I wasn't supposed to. All right, I'm supposed to.
Your 2 favorite.
I'm supposed to be serious here, so let me.
Is that a laugh?
Had something in his throat. Gnat.
It's a gnat. Clearly.
Actually, what happened was immediately I was overwhelmed with just so many things that I could say about the 2 of you.
There it is.
Hold on a second, Father, forgive me. Well, I would have to say that the 2 of you is never dull. It's incredibly interesting. You guys are fun to pastor. You keep me sharp on my toes.
Same thing our parents said.
Yeah. Thanks, Dad.
Yeah. I did call and ask them some pointers before the night.
I'm proud of you. Something I've never heard from my parents before.
Oh! No, it's a lot of fun. It really is. You guys, I reached a point in my life where I'm like looking back in the mirror some, and you guys help me forget about that for small moments in time, make me feel a little bit younger.
There you go. That makes me feel.
That's a good. We'll take that.
High five.
High five it. All right, you can ask the next one.
Okay.
I didn't mean to just like pat you on the leg.
Thanks for that pat on the leg. That's affirmation. Thank you. That was great.
So now you understand my job, the dilemma in which I face.
All right. Question 2. On a scale of 1 to 10, how nervous do you get when you hear that we're about to post a new video?
Oh my God. Did that answer it? Well, it's just like a sea of emotions for me because I'm like, oh man, this is going to be so funny. Wait a minute. Will it be too funny?
Will they cross the line?
Is the church? Is it going to be church appropriate?
Yeah.
Is it going to be one of those where you're laughing and then all of a sudden you're like, oh, wait.
Yeah.
No, rewind.
I mean, I need to watch it so I can at least know how to respond when I get these emails and calls. No, I'm just playing.
I mean, look, just a backstory.
Like, they're part-time help. They're not a full-time at the church.
Right, exactly.
Steve and Brent who?
and just a backstory, like the Thick and Thin thing, this is new, but we have other stuff that we've done in the past.
Yes.
a lot more
Multiple
questionable.
personas that we.
Yeah.
Yes.
Some of which include onesies on unicorns right down the
yeah.
street.
Yes.
Which we actually, at some point, videoing that, we had neighbors step out of their houses
And they
go,
were like,
"What is going on?"
no, no.
Why are there two grown men?
I think that particular video that you guys posted, the question was posed to me. You know, are they in ministry?
Like, sure enough.
Yes.
Absolutely.
The rainbow
Yes.
people need help too.
So no, it really is. It's fun and it's exciting. You guys, I never know what to expect, and that's a good thing.
Neither do we.
Yeah,
we have no idea.
sometimes that's pretty obvious, but no.
No.
Somebody
Are we
once,
keeping up points tonight?
Am I winning?
Yes, we clearly are.
somebody once said, "I don't know what I'm going to say until I hear it come out of my mouth."
That is true.
So
That
we're
is
all
true.
surprised.
I've been guilty of that a few times myself.
Okay, next question. And
All
be
right.
totally honest and transparent. Who do you like better, me or Brent? I'm just kidding. What we really want to know is who's your favorite, Ethan or Lakin?
Ooh.
Ooh.
Hot seat.
Oh.
Sizzle.
Or you could just say, which child is better, Ethan, Lakin, Brent, or Stephen?
Well, okay.
If you want to get off, you just say us.
You know, I would think. I guess my response to that would be that I'm just going to refer back to Jesus and just say that I love all my children.
Good call.
Classic.
Good
Classic
call.
escape.
Yeah.
How do you feel about that, Soxy?
Yeah. Oh, E-Man's behind me there, so I don't know. I'm not feeling any darts in my back just yet.
Look, he's leaving.
I really meant you, son.
I don't think he was satisfied with that answer.
Oh, you know,
I'd say both. I mean, you.
yeah. Now that I can think about it, Lincoln's gone and married. I mean,
She's not. She hadn't watched this video once.
so
I guarantee.
I
that.
guarantee you're
No,
probably
she watched
right.
this.
So
Lincoln,
Ethan's
you
the
need to watch
man. He's the man.
I'll give you $5 if you comment on this, Lakin.
I'll make it another $5.
Of course, let's be honest. When
Let
I
me
say I'll give you
text.
$5, I won't.
I'll tell her she can get 6, and I'll get 4 out of that.
Oh, there you go.
We got kind.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's funny,
do.
man.
We always do.
Why you be asking me a question like that? I mean, what's up with that?
Just to put you on the hot seat.
Geez, I'm gonna get home and I'm gonna get in trouble with my wife. Can't believe
should
you
have
told
brought
it.
Sister Daff in too. Next,
We should have.
she'll be next.
Oh yeah, we're gonna grill her on that.
Oh
Who's your
God!
favorite?
Oh, yeah.
Oh no! I don't think that'd be wise for either of you, because on on worship practice, the two of you are going to
could be
get
bad.
it.
It could be bad.
Oh yeah.
Okay, so when you're not being pastor,
When is that?
That is true.
when you're not being pastor, when you're not pastoring per se, which is always,
Yeah, I'm just.
what are your hobbies?
Oh wow! So they've kind of evolved through the years. It used to be one of my most favorite hobbies when I first started ministry was, playing softball actually, and I loved it. And we did a lot of travel softball, and stuff, and then that kind of moved to golf, and I loved golf, and I played golf a lot, and then kind of moved from that to beginning my experiences and understandings of working out in the gym, and that's kind of been the thing that's hung in here with me now for several years.
Same.
I enjoy
Yeah.
that. Yeah, I mean,
We're so into that. We're
I
so
mean,
much into that.
We were, Brent. We were.
Brent, you're such a motivation to me with
Look,
the gym. I just want you to know.
I try to be to people, and
I mean, I look at you and I'm trying to decide: are you the thin or the thick?
dedication, hard work. Anybody writing this down? Because I got
That's
them
all it
memorized.
takes.
I don't live them out. I memorize them.
I don't actually do them.
I'm a great coach.
I'm a great
Those
coach.
that can't do, Coach Corey.
So you coach from the sidelines, right?
Yeah, I remember when I moved back here from Nashville, y'all were golfing a lot.
We were, and I have a great set of golf clubs in my garage, by the way. And
I have 2 sets.
the church actually
2 sets of golf clubs.
The church actually gifted me one year with a beautiful set of irons that I love, and I just need to get back in it. And every now and then I'll say to Daphne, I should be playing golf more. And she's like, you should. And I'm like, yeah, I should.
One
That's
episode,
about as far as it
And then you
goes.
never do.
one episode we should all load up and slice all day long on video.
Do they say slice? Like
Oh yeah,
that? Is that
Stephen,
the lingo for golf?
It's whenever
Well,
you
it
hit
is
and
when you're slicing
when
the
you're
ball.
slicing.
But I don't feel like we're going to slice on every hit, so you probably shouldn't say that.
Trust me when I
probably
say that if you're asking the question
Let's
if
go
you're going to
slicing.
slice, you will slice every single hit.
Well,
Oh, you think?
There was a moment in my life, and it probably will be now because I haven't played so long, that I used to play Army golf. Left, right, left, right, left, right. Every
I
time
was about to say, wait, what?
Hey, let me tell you
Elaborate,
what.
please.
Okay.
There was a guy that we used to play with, and I'm not going to name his name. He's not watching, so I'm going to name his name. His name was Trey Poston. But he was one of my best friends.
Wow,
So I'm absolutely calling him out.
Literally called
Absolutely.
first and last name, too.
Yeah.
He lives at 101 County
Trey
Road.
Poston from
Social Security number
Yeah, so
632.
I have it, actually.
Oh, Lord.
Trey, the first time I ever played with him, and I love you, Trey. You know that. Trey, the first time I ever played with him, he swung and somehow he lost grip of the club and it ended up in the tree. That was the first swing. Second swing, and he was a lefty, and he sliced it so hard. It was going straight, and then it took a 90-degree turn and knocked a bird clear off a power line.
Just like a
No
hard
way.
90.
Almost killed the bird.
No way.
You killed a bird one time,
I'm
Brent.
dead serious.
You killed a bird one time.
Steven, I told you not to ever bring that up. On
Playing
video.
golf?
That'll be another discussion one
Yeah.
day.
Yeah, so
Cliffhanger.
those are my hobbies I like to do. It kind of gives me a little bit of a moment where I'm not thinking about certain things or whatever regarding ministry. Or pastor.
Everybody needs those moments.
Yeah, absolutely. So, and then
This is kind of ours.
Yeah, really.
Honestly,
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So I'm gonna do it now. For me, now working out is a lot that I enjoy. Need to do it.
And
a
if
little
you've
bit
never
more.
seen him in the gym,
Which I have
Yeah.
every day for
he
the last
can
5 years.
lift
yeah,
heavy.
On video.
No, not anymore. Once upon a time, maybe, but I'm.
He used to ride bikes.
Oh, I forgot about.
Yeah. How do
did
we
I
know you
forget
better
that?
than you know
Look.
yourself?
When Pastor first started
Like
coming,
100 miles, right?
Oh yeah, I've
Pastor
done that
fir-
many times.
When Pastor first moved to Kennard, that was like the one thing that he did all the time, biked like crazy.
Yep.
My mind was always blown by. He would say, "Yeah, I just biked, like however many miles.
Yeah.
How many miles did you bike on average?"
It just would depend, depending on the time that I had. I've done several centuries, which are 100-mile rides at one time.
See,
and
the last time I did that,
Brent, you've never done that.
I was so tired.
Stop.
You're behind the steering wheel of your truck, right?
No. It was on a bike, but after about a mile 98 or so, I was so tired. I was wore slap out.
A mile, 98.
Yeah, 98 miles.
98 mile.
0.98. That's, I think is what yeah. So I forgot about that. The reason why I stopped, I'm going to be honest with you guys, the reason why I stopped cycling here, and by the way, from going forward, if you don't mind, the two of you, would you refer to it as cycling, please?
Oh.
Not
Oh, it's
biking.
one of those kind of
Biking.
No, I'm just
one of those,
biking.
one of those kind of hobbies. Okay.
No, the reason
Mr. Gotta be perfect.
the reason why I stopped because you have to. I don't know if everybody knows this, but when you're cycling, you have to ride with the traffic and not against the traffic. So
Which feels dangerous.
it does feel very
I was
dangerous.
about to say, I was always taught to go, like if you're coming over a hill,
It's where you can see them.
you want to be,
Yeah, but no, it's against the law to cycle on the highway.
But what if you're biking?
Well, there's
that
a
against
whole
the law?
other set of rules to biking. I mean,
That's
Because
what
see,
we do.
we bike.
We bike.
okay. Well, in that
be
case,
biking.
just keep going the direction you're going. But
Probably why you don't see many bikers anymore, huh?
Yeah,
Or our type of
those
bikers.
bikers.
I've never seen the bikers going the way I'm cycling, but nevertheless, so in Texas, everybody pulls over and rides the shoulder to let someone else go by, and so there's been a few close calls. And when I was here cycling, I usually did that by myself. So,
Yeah.
that's another thing. And so, anyways. It's pretty much an excuse.
I bet
to
you
not
it's more
cycle
difficult
anymore.
here
It's
though,
kinda dangerous.
because there's not like that good of shoulders on most of the roads around here, especially the back roads.
Yeah, and
like
you have dually
where would you
trucks
ride?
with
Yeah.
wide mirrors.
Yeah.
It just seems like
trailers, everything.
Yeah. Oh, I've gotten brushed off the road before several times. Believe me.
Wow.
Yeah. Absolutely.
I bet that's a fun experience.
Yeah, it is when
I've
you're
always had
flipping
that
head
fear.
over heels over the top in front of your bike, because
yeah.
a 18-wheeler come alongside the road and got right on the edge of you and blew the horn or something, and it freaks you out.
And what if they had like a log truck had like a stick sticking out and hit you in the back of the head? It could kill you.
You would
Yeah.
never know it happened.
Okay, Stephen, I'm not cycling anymore.
Okay.
Yeah, Pastor.
But you can bike if you want
please
to.
be careful.
Whole different set of rules.
From now on,
you can
I'm
get on
biking.
the other side of the road.
Cycling stuff's way too dangerous. I'm just gonna bike from now on.
Yeah, just stick to biking.
Yeah,
please.
biking's the better.
Yeah.
Less rules.
I know you guys probably thought
Yeah.
I'd say that, as a relief from my hobby, it was like prayer, reading my Bible.
I mean, that's what we do.
That's what we do. Yeah.
I can tell.
Yeah.
I can tell by your,
Are we lying about prayer right now? We're lying about prayer.
Yeah. Is that a? Should we do that?
That's probably a no-no if I had to guess.
I mean, your
Okay.
examples are just phenomenal.
Well, we do. We can.
We try.
Stay humble. We stay humble about it.
Yeah.
Speaking of which, I just
Okay.
had my Bible.
Oh.
Wow.
Which leads us to our next activity.
Oh, okay.
We like to play a game with our guests, those of which have been you and my wife.
It's the only guess we've had.
Okay.
We're
I'm a little
venturing
bit
out.
nervous right now.
We're venturing out, and we're not putting you on the spot because,
thank God.
because we're not going to put our guest on the spot.
So it's a game between the
It's a
two of
game
you.
between the two of us.
I'm liking it better now.
And because we know that, so Pastor, you've been involved in the past with children's ministry, youth ministry, which we'll talk about some of that in a
All right,
little bit. I'm sure you've been the ref in this game many times in the past. We want to play an old school game of sword drill.
Yep.
And it's me versus Stephen, but this is the twist because it's 2021.
We're gonna see what's faster.
One of us is going to get an iPhone or a smartphone with the app.
I gotcha.
Okay, and I'm not going to name the app because I don't know if
You
I
can
don't
do
know
that.
if
It's
if
not
you
right to
name it or
do.
not.
Yeah, but it's an app that you can purchase.
Yeah, it's like the most common one. Just know that. And then I'm going to get a Bible, and I just want to say first of all, it says Competitor's Bible. It's Stephen's,
I'm a competitor.
and so that automatically gives me a disadvantage. 'cause it's not mine.
Is that like a little bit of oxymoron or something?
I feel like it might be.
Possibly. Actually, I'll be honest. I don't
Competitor's
even know
Bible.
where I got that.
My Bible's better than yours.
Bible is so much the best
The
Bible
best
ever.
Bible.
Yeah.
The Bible for the
Don't
best
you wish
people.
you had a Bible like mine?
Don't you wish you had a Bible like?
Oh, that's
Oh,
that'll Lamb of the
yeah,
church.
Yeah.
What song was that actually?
Don't you?
Don't you? Who sang that?
Don't you wish your girlfriend
Well-
was? Yeah.
Oh, easy. Let's.
See, I didn't even know that. He did.
see,
What?
this
I
is-
didn't say that.
This
did I?
is what I have to do as pastor. See, I thought this was going to be a non-pastor moment, but wow, boom.
This is
So,
where he pulls.
And as usual,
pulls on the
Stephen
leash a
brought me
little
to
bit.
that point and then left me out there to drown.
Who, me?
Me. We love you.
Okay, now you're just going to give us a verse, chapter and verse at random.
Okay.
So first of all, I want to give a rule for you because there's so
Do
many
I have
options.
to get completely
Okay,
out?
no. You can pull it up. Pull it
Okay.
up. Pull your read part up. But this is the thing: you can't just type in what you're looking for.
Well, that's what I'm supposed to do.
So go to read,
That's what I would normally do.
Stephen. I want to give you I want to give me a little bit of advantage here. Okay, I want to give me a chance. Okay, now when you go here, I just want to make sure it's not on or alphabetical. It's got to be on traditional mode.
Okay, the bad thing about this too is I am not tech savvy at all. Like I'm not.
Good luck.
So it gives me
I'm
a little
normally like-
chance.
yeah.
It gives me a little chance to keep up.
All right. I'm good. I'm gonna fix to give you guys the book and chapter and verse.
You know what? Do we have we should have brought a buzzer to buzz in.
Yeah.
Are we gonna let's smash this?
Ethan
York.
can
Yeah,
just be
smash
like,
the York. The
We're
first
gonna
person who gets it hits the York.
Yeah, we gotta
and-
smash that York.
All right. So.
Is it equal distance? Kind of.
All right.
Let me practice
Yeah.
that.
So, Steve,
Now-
are you ready? Can you get that right
yes, I can get that. Now here's the thing. We already figured that you would probably give us a verse that's not actually in the Bible, and we would be over here searching for it anyway.
Why would you think
Because
that?
you two are a little competitive. And so,
No.
a little bit
all right,
trick-
all right, so we'll
a
start
little bit trickster.
all right,
Third Corinthians.
So we'll
Third
start out-
Corinthians.
Yeah, I'll start out real easy. How many are we going to get to do, by the way?
Do three?
Three?
Let's push. Let's do 5. Best out of 5.
Best out of 5.
Okay.
All right. You ready? Guys ready?
That's a good
Okay.
question.
Genesis chapter 1, verse 26.
Goodness gracious.
Okay, where'd my read
It's
page
actually
go?
hard.
Genesis
Hold on.
1, 26.
This is 126.
And God said, no, I'm sorry.
What?
Let us. Oh.
This is 126.
Brent, you have me on the Passion
Then
Translation.
God said, "Oh, yeah.
They don't have Genesis on that one.
Okay,
You
we're
didn't
gonna-
smash the York.
We got to start over.
Okay.
Nope, automatically defers to me.
No, you got to go to find a different version.
You said
Now
I'm
we're
going to
starting
King
over.
James. It's trusty.
So that verse said, then God said, let us make man in our image and after our likeness. And right now, after this, God's probably like,
yeah, he's like,
okay.
I wanna
all right, let me
rethink
see.
that one.
Let me pull up another one
rethink
here.
that.
Sorry, God.
All right, are you ready?
Sorry.
Everybody
Okay, we're
loose.
ready.
Got your fingers ready to roll. Romans 8:1.
Romans 8:1. Romans 8:1. This is not my Bible. Oh, goodness gracious.
There is therefore now no condemnation to them which are
Therefore,
Christ,
no
who walk not after
condemnation
the
now
flesh but after the
exists.
Spirit.
For those, now you got to choose which one of us gets the point
I
because he
did
didn't hit the York.
clearly.
He
I'll
was
give it to
clearly ahead of you on that
was
one.
clearly
Way
ahead
I
of
mean,
me.
he didn't
Way
smash the
ahead.
York, but at the same time,
I didn't feel like it was
guess,
needed.
yeah,
I guess
he
it's
was
okay,
so
I guess-
far ahead of you that he felt like it wasn't worth.
I guess rules don't matter. It's fine.
Okay, all right. So 1-0 because the first one didn't count.
All right.
Because you guys couldn't find
Should have
Genesis.
counted that one.
Albeit the first book of the Bible. And we'll go there. All right, Hezekiah, chapter 3, verse 2.
goodness.
Oh, that's a toughie.
Hezekiah. Say that again. Hezekiah. What was it?
Hezekiah, chapter 3, verse 2.
Oh, Hezekiah. Chapter 3, verse 2. That's a toughie.
You guys are going to want to go back
Oh,
and look at
good. I'm
this,
gonna have to go back in the
this
index on
particular
that.
moment right
This
here.
is gonna be- this
go
is
back and look at the
embarrassing.
camera.
Hezekiah.
We probably ought to.
Hezekiah. Where in the world is that?
Go back and look at the camera this particular moment. You're going to appreciate it.
Pastor's question is the choice of youth pastors, right?
Right. I don't think
Hezekiah.
they put.
Is that even a book?
It's
That's not a
because
Bible.
it's not. Boom!
He got it.
But yeah, I was nervous. We're like, we should know. I was thinking, like, we should know where this is, Brent. Like, the pastor's right in front of us. We need to know where this is at.
Got
So
it.
I'm looking at it. I was like, did he mean maybe like, what's that other one?
Yeah, so while y'all were frantically looking, I went to this like this to the
Zechariah,
camera.
maybe?
I went, there's
Classic.
Classic.
all right,
classic.
Psalms
Got it.
100,
said he was going to verse 3.
Oh, goodness gracious.
I should have, what I should have given y'all was 119.
it.
Boom.
Acknowledge that the Lord is God. He made us, and we are His people,
Acknowledge
the sheep of His
His
pasture.
pasture.
I got it too.
Like,
So it looks to me like right now it's 1-1. So is this a tiebreaker?
This is a tiebreaker.
This is a tiebreaker.
I thought we were going to 5.
No.
No, Brent, we can't take. This is
right. This could go
This
on
is
forever.
embarrassing. At this
This
point,
next one could go on forever.
this is embarrassing.
Okay, so this is the winner.
All
Winner
right.
gets it.
Are you ready?
Very questionably.
Ezra chapter 2, verse 5.
I think Stephen's definitely going to beat me on this one. Is this another trick question?
Is it?
They're definitely
The children of Era 775.
got it. Oh well, you know.
So I think modern technology is a little bit faster on sword drill
faster.
than the typical. Now, if you guys would have done this with Daphne here, she'd have beat all
What
of you
he's
hands
saying
down.
is that
She
I'm
is so
the
good.
weak link in this game.
Youth pastor.
You know, they say the road to recovery begins with acknowledgement. So,
It does.
Other people acknowledging it.
Other people
well, I
for
mean,
you.
we want to
It's like, I
support
never
you.
actually said
I
that,
never
y'all.
said that I was weak at it.
Well, we just want to support you.
This is intervention.
This is actually why we're here.
Yeah, it's a youth pastor intervention.
That's good stuff.
Oh,
That's
my
good
God.
stuff. Good job, Bob. Good job.
Okay, so I won that one. I'll never let you forget that. So let's transition into a little more serious
Okay.
discussion.
All right. Sure.
We're going to start with when and how did you know you were called to preach?
Wow. Great question.
So we went from
Yeah, no,
really
no,
having
no.
fun to
Seriously, great question. You know, let me say it like this. I didn't realize that I was called this. What I'm about to tell you, but now looking back in my life, I realized that's when. But I was too young to know it, and so I was just a young boy. I think I was either 4 or 5 years old, and I woke up from an afternoon nap and I was upset, and my mom. I vaguely remember, but through the years, my mom had told me this story that I woke up a little bit upset because I had a dream, and you guys know my dad was a minister, and he's a retired minister now, but retired pastor rather. But I had the dream where my dad and I were standing there in real time. So I was a little guy, and he was full grown adult, and there was this large pit in the ground, and we were right at the edge of it, and there was a long line of people, and they were just coming in, and Dad had his Bible, and we were frantically trying to stop them from going in. So I guess at that point I didn't know what it was. It just scared me really bad.
I was about to say, that's a pretty deep dream.
Yeah, I was really young, and so that stayed with me all the way through the adolescent years, and I would think back on it and remember those sorts of things. And then I guess I finally said yes to that, or surrendered to the call, as a lot of people like to say it, when I was about right out of high school, about 20 or so. I'll never forget this. Kind of lighten it up just for a second.
Yeah, sure.
So it's kind of funny, but it's still a part of this. So I'll never forget, I dated my wife, Daphne, for 3 years and 8 months, and, when we got married. And so she would ask me in the early days, "Are you going to be a preacher?" And I'm like, "No, no." And I'd go home and say, "God, I'm so sorry." And so I'll never forget when it got kind of really close. We were engaged. I'll never forget. I said, "Hey, I need to tell you something."
And she was like, "I knew it."
Yes, exactly. That's
time.
it. Were you there?
Was I?
No, wait, no,
Lord.
So so it was somewhere around 20 or so where I finally realized, this is something that I knew the Lord wanted me to do. So
Awesome.
It's and it's always easier to see, obviously, when you're looking back, because I kind of feel like that about singing on the praise team. Like, I never really necessarily felt like I just heard the voice of the Lord saying, "You need to be up there singing." But as you look back, what has been the one constant thing in my entire life, and it's been singing.
Yeah.
Like every other thing I did kind of came for a little while and then it go, but the one constant has always been the one thing I was called to do. And then actually, like, when was Brother Bustard here last
year?
Yeah, he was talking to someone else, and he looked over to me real quick, and he was like, "You were up there singing?" I was like, "Yeah, sir." He said, "That's where you belong." He just kept walking. I was like, "Gotcha."
Confirmation.
Like, heard you. But it's always the one constant. And so even at 5 years old, like, it's been a constant your whole life.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. The thing that I've learned through all of this now, I hate to say how long I've been in ministry, but it's been a while, But the thing I've learned about this is that it's so bigger than a particular one thing in ministry,
right?
And recognizing that early on that everybody always says with regard to raising a child, you've heard it many times. It takes a village to raise a child. Well, I think it takes a powerful team that has callings in particular areas, to really pastor a great church, and I mean that in all sincerity. So I could probably take y'all's place at the lead guitar and singing, but nope, that's not going to happen.
And it may be said too that
that's funny.
like you came from a preacher's home.
Yeah.
You came up in music, like you said. I came up playing music. I was in a musician's family. I feel like a lot of times when we're talking about ministry and we feel like God's calling us, we immediately think, okay, what is God at this moment from here? Like, forget about all of my other stuff. We always go, what is God going to give me? He's going to give me a talent to do this. But a lot of times I feel like he's given us these talents in preparation, like pre-preparation for the calling. And a lot of times we overlook all the stuff that he's already given us, and we try to go, he's got to give me something outside of all this for it to work.
Yeah, actually,
might be the obvious stuff.
That's an excellent point, because I always say, you guys heard me say this many times, right? I always say that God gives us all natural giftings. there may be different from one person to the next, but God gives us all natural giftings. And a lot of times, for whatever reasons, to your point, we think that those natural giftings are just, like separated or something from the ministry gifting, when in fact, almost without fail, they're so close, and many times that's the doorway to what God wants you to do, And so I always say, just find out what you're good at naturally.
Yeah.
And then ask God, how can I use this gifting?
Yeah, makes sense.
For your kingdom,
Right.
And,
Exactly.
And I think that's the way it's supposed to be.
I
agree with that.
Yeah, definitely think so. Okay. Elaborate on how being called to minister has affected your life and your family's life.
So just across the board, generally?
Just across the board, however you feel like.
Because obviously, it's almost like me growing up with a dad as a police officer. That job affected us as a family.
Yeah.
Well, with Leah. And so, there were many nights Dad wasn't there because he was working. Didn't see him for a week because when we were at school, he was sleeping. When, we were home, things like that. So it does
maybe
affect
moving or
moving,
whatever
job.
And
so
it's just
your family signs up for it too, basically.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So it's not just the preacher or the pastor. It's the entire family. And being raised in a pastor's home, in a preacher's home, I saw that growing up.
Right.
That it is what it is, right? So your plans, are always subject to something that could come up with regard to a member of the church that you're pastoring in. There'll be many times we sit down to the dinner table. I remember as a kid growing up, and there'd be a phone call, or back in those days, you had to get up and go to the phone that's mounted on the wall, right? And if you were lucky enough to have a long card, you could get back over the table. But there have been many times like that. Or obviously the things that you guys know about is leaving your family or stopping what you're doing, because if someone has had an emergency or a tragedy or just that, straw that broke the camel's back, metaphorically speaking, at that moment, and they need you to, to give them your undivided attention. So it's a 24/7 job, but it's affected in many ways. Obviously, one of the ways is that my mom and dad live in another state, and so that means my children's grandparents live in another state, as well as my wife's family. And so we're you kind of you have to purpose to go see them. You know what I mean? You got to plan, okay, we're going to go Friday or whatever, drive down, and, we're going to do, it's not like, I wonder what dad and mom's doing. Let me run over there and drink some coffee with them,
Right.
So those are things like that. I'm not saying that that's the case all the time and everywhere, but for us, it's been that way several times.
But you have to be intentional.
You have to be intentional about that. So, you always, I guess I'll end the answer this way, with you always season whatever it is that you're doing with the understanding in the back of your mind that this could change just like that.
Right.
That it could, what ends up getting juggled, or rescheduled is a lot of times your own personal life. But hey, it's worth it. I mean, it's worth it. I get to do things like this,
Can I add to this?
Well, and I was going to add something too.
Okay.
You want to go first?
Go ahead.
Okay. Well, one thing I was going to say is just now it kind of come to me. Like, obviously you make sacrifices and things for the kingdom, but your family almost has to be okay with them sharing you with everybody else.
That's exactly right.
Because you give a lot of time to the saints and the people of the church.
Can I add to that?
Yeah.
Okay. So we do have, as far as the people that watch this, I feel like, because we're in this kind of age group, I feel like maybe we have some people that watch that are maybe feeling called to the ministry. They're just getting started in ministry.
Sure.
I was raised in a home that my great grandfather was a pastor. There's been preachers all through my family. Kind of the same deal as y'all's.
Right.
And being a part of that, I've seen a lot of ministers that maybe neglected family time, and in turn, their whole family had struggled. Can you maybe say a couple words to maybe up and coming people that feel like they're wanting to be preachers, as far as like because I know you see this list about, we all see this list: God, family, church,
Sure.
whatever, however that list is, however you want to organize it.
Right.
What is your wisdom for someone that might be starting out? Family, God, the ministry. How does that all work?
Yeah, that's a great question, and I'll be happy to answer that. We do understand in ministry, if you're embarking on that journey, and I'm super happy for you to do that. You guys are here, and you're Leah and the kids are sacrificing tonight.
Yeah,
I mean, there's things that you're doing, Stephen, that you had to, schedule for this. So, in fact, you understand what I'm talking about. With regard to being in ministry, as far as you're, having to, your family having to share you at a moment's notice, oftentimes, I would say, try to look at, what kind of continue a day or an evening that continues to surface, consistently through a series of time that you can say, okay, this is more than not, this is a time where I really had nothing really happened, and maybe take that as your family night, right?
Right.
With one clause to that, one sidebar, and that is this: it will get interrupted. And when it does, so let's say, for instance, it's this week, right? And, and I was going to, spend time with Ethan and Daphne, and you guys asked me to come do this. I'm just using that as an example.
Right.
No, I'm just playing. Just playing.
I feel that.
Actually, they asked me last week.
Shut it down. Shut it down. It's family night.
What have we done?
What have we done?
My thing would be this, and something that we did not do, honestly, if I could be candidly honest. This wasn't really practiced or thought of even in our early years of our ministry, it wasn't thought of as well. And I think if I could give a word of advice would be, set something this, if it works every week, we're going to take this day or this evening, and this is what we're going to do. It's going to be our family time. I'm going to put the phone away or whatever, right? But when that gets disrupted, don't just throw the week away.
Right.
Try to find another spot.
Yeah, an alternative
in that week. To get it done. Right. So what the reason why I say that is because what it does for your children or your family is it sends a strong message that time is very important. And it'd be, I guess, no different than maybe if a doctor, gets called in, there's an emergency and a surgeon has to go in or whatever. But, those times are going to come in ministry. But if you'll make an equal value to, I'm going to replace this, what we thought would be the night, I'm going to replace it with tomorrow night or with whatever.
Right. Do you want to jump straight to this one? Or do you think, because I'm feeling like we're going to get out of time. If we stay with this, we're going to run out of time.
I'm sorry.
No, I mean, this is awesome. This is what we wanted.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, we can go over that.
You want to jump? Go ahead.
Yeah. Okay. So obviously 2020 was a interesting year because we're gonna say positive. We're gonna say positive.
Yeah, sure.
Interesting. Yeah. But overall, from most of the people that we know, like we were okay. It was all good. But as a pastor, how was 2020? How did you have to readjust and go into nothing but online services? And things like that. So how was it as a pastor?
Was it a challenge, in other words?
Definitely a challenge. I mean, if I could be candidly honest again, I'm going to say, initially it was scary.
Right.
Just being honest, from an administrative perspective, you just, the unknowns, you don't know what's going to happen, all of the things that come into play with that from a faith perspective. So yeah, it was scary. But early on, I think realizing that, the absolute in an uncertain situation, the absolute is that the unchanging of God, he's always there. So with that you just got to be able to move and tweak a little bit. We did online services, but we were blessed with that. We just had to, it shook up paradigms. It really did. Sure. It made us rethink how we potentially could do church. Got us out of our box a little bit, made us think, oh, wow, we can still, our online presence, was stronger this past year than it has been since we started several years ago. So, yeah.
That was the next little thing. With every specific challenge, God presented a way to adjust.
Oh, 100%. Yeah.
Through the whole thing.
Absolutely. Now the thing is you have to be willing to flex. You have to be willing to bend a little bit. You have to be willing to. I always say, I use a thing like to to flow in the anointing. You guys, to flow, you have to be willing to float. So in other words, in 2020, you couldn't be so rigid. You had to be willing to bend a little bit and flex a little bit and do those sorts of things.
I mean, every major event in the Bible, though, was like that, though. There was always something that came up that they had to adjust to.
Absolutely.
But it was like, it was Brother Jeff Arnold, I guess, at Louisiana Camp Meeting, preached the message. Remember about the ram? Going up, the ram was on the other side of the mountain.
Yeah.
So he goes before you.
Right.
Oh,
so
absolutely.
he went before 2020.
Yeah, there's a great biblical story in the Old Testament about that, right? The angels of the Lord went before the children of Israel as they were going up to fight when they got into the camp. They were gone.
Very true. Soxy, how are we on time over there? We good? Okay, so that game that I sent you, pull it up on your phone if you don't mind.
Oh, we just gonna go straight to that?
Should we? Because we're already here, right? Yeah, we're already here.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, so we had just a quick idea. We're gonna put you on the spot on this one.
Oh boy, I knew it was coming.
There was no pressure for the first one.
I was actually a little disappointed.
They do this with TD Jake. Someone did this with Bishop TD Jake.
Now this is not. We're not gonna go. We're gonna do a little bit different. We're gonna do a little different.
Chocolate on this one.
We're gonna do a little bit different, Pastor. No pressure. No pressure.
Yeah. I have memory like an elephant, right? So just say it is.
Okay.
We're gonna give you a topic
with regard to you two.
We're just gonna give you a Bible story.
Okay.
And you're not. This is not a preaching thing. You're not preaching. I just want you to think of the first lesson that you can think of that you can get out of this talk.
A small little lesson.
All right, I'm with you.
With that.
I like it. All right, let's do it.
Okay. Which one do you want to ask first? So these are alternatives.
Let's do Daniel in the lion's den.
Perseverance.
Perseverance. So can you expound on that?
Wow, you nailed it with that one word. Wow. Oh, got it.
Can you expound a little bit?
Yeah. I mean, the story of Daniel in the lion's den, he was thrown in there because he refused to bow down to some things. And so being faced in a situation he never was before, and being and waiting on God, but persevering through his prayer and through his faith to believe, that God, sent a dispassionate angel from heaven, to come to his rescue. Of course, it took 21 days, hence we have
the Daniel fast.
Daniel fast.
Well, I need to go back and read that story now.
Perseverance.
I need to freshen up on that.
I need to freshen up on that a little bit. It's funny. I feel like we get hung up on the same 5 stories. I don't know if anybody else is like that.
Yeah.
You have people that you relate to in the Bible, so you just read their story over and over again.
Yeah.
And you just kind of put it over to the side.
Yeah.
So it's neat to be able to kind of get back and refresh.
Absolutely.
Okay. This is one that I love here. So John the Baptist, we all know about him, being the one to baptize Jesus and all this. But what we don't think about a lot is the moment where he ends up in prison, and he gets his people to go back to Jesus and go, "Are you the Messiah, or should we look for another?" Can you explain? Can you maybe what is that all about? What can we get from that maybe?
Yeah, I think if I were to do a lesson on that right now, it would be blind trust. Faith, because he was, and that's the thing about faith is you don't have to be secure, right? Because I mean, if anybody knew who Jesus was, it was John the Baptist, right? I mean, he was the forerunner. He did all the things that he did, yet here he is, they're fixing to, behead him. Right. And he's like, I don't even know if this guy's really who I've said he
heard
was.
The voice of the Lord as Jesus is getting baptized.
This is my son in whom I'm well pleased.
Yeah.
And yet now he's questioning himself. So I think I would deduct from that story a lesson of blind trust and faith, even when you're uncertain.
Right. That's awesome.
So if we had a grade to give him on that, A.
I'm gonna give him A. I'm gonna give him A plus no matter what.
Because we feel obligated to.
I mean, I
love it. I love it.
Feel a certain obligation.
Yeah, Pastor's gonna fist bump. Right. Yeah, Pastor's gonna fist bump on Sunday. Good job, guys.
Yeah. Do you want to do one more?
Let's do one more.
Okay, one more. Adam and Eve eating of the fruit.
Be careful what you put in your mouth.
Right?
Oh, absolutely. I know exactly what I would use that to teach a lesson on was know the words of God. know the word of God, because God said, out of every tree in the garden thou may freely eat, but of this tree thou shalt not eat. And when the Lucifer came and tempted Eve, he told her a little bit different story than what God said, and she even told her then husband Adam, right, a different story than what that has said. So know the word of God.
Right.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'll do one. I'll do one more. Let's do one more. Okay, and then wait. I'm having fun. I'm having fun with
All right, do one more.
All right, I'm getting a lot of it. Okay, so the last one, the story of Elijah calling down the fire with the prophets, the prophets of Baal. That whole story.
Okay. Yeah. So yeah, where he consumed the sacrifice.
Yes.
Our God is a consuming fire. I would say that no matter if you're surrounded by the opposing enemy, I would probably speak about God isn't intimidated by your surroundings. I think that would be where I would go with that.
That's awesome. That's powerful. That one sentence to me
It's
just
very relatable to
2020 and where we're at, right? I mean, God did some miraculous things in that story. And look at the blind faith of Elijah, right? He went and got 12 barrels of water. If you do the study of that story, that was a commodity at that point. And yet he saturates the sacrifice, and water fills up a ditch around it, and 12 barrels. And yet he reached up and prays a small, short prayer. I can't remember how many words. It's not that many. And fire comes from heaven, licks up the water, and consumes the sacrifice. God's not intimidated with your surroundings.
That's good.
I love that.
How do you feel about as we're heading into 2021?
I'm good. I feel good. I really do. I mean, I'm thinking, they hit us with their best shot, right? And we
right, we're here.
We
Still
not only
here.
survive, but we thrive. So
Right.
Yeah.
2021 is great. It's going to be great.
Right.
Now, I think we will be more susceptible to, or more likely, rather, it's a better word, to be okay with flexibility. In other words, to make sure that we present the gospel,
Right.
and not so predictable.
And I mean, I know that you guys, probably agree with this, but I mean, I've even noticed just since 2021 has started that the church services, I can speak for our church, no other church, but I don't know if it's that people, realize maybe what we took for granted for so long.
That's what I think.
Yeah.
Or what, but it's like
Great point.
we come into the church now and it's like the Spirit of God is there. People are hungry. They're giving it their best.
Absolutely. Man. Absolutely.
And God is responding mightily right now in our church.
No, it's perfect. Maximize the moment, live in the now. This is the moment that God has given us.
Right. I agree with that.
Absolutely. It's beautiful.
Very last question.
All right.
On a scale of 1 to 10, what are the chances you'll come back and do this again?
10.
Oh, here's the 20.
All right, thank you. I got that.
We were looking for 11.
We were looking for 11, but we'll take 10.
Well, he did say 1 to 10.
I did.
We don't go by rules.
We
here.
don't follow
Obviously.
rules, obviously.
Obviously.
Have we ever?
No, guys, I've had a wonderful time. Thank you guys for allowing me to
Awesome.
come.
Thanks for coming.
Hang out with y'all and thick and thin. And,
Yes, sir.
And it's been fun. It's been fun.
Sweet.
Hopefully this episode will have the highest rankings. No, just
No, it will.
We're really counting on it.
It will.
We wouldn't have invited you if we didn't think
Yeah, I mean, we needed to up. We really got to up those numbers. They were rookie numbers. We needed to up them.
Yes,
Yeah,
good
kind of
stuff.
bump them a little bit.
Thank you very much.
Okay.
Okay, so don't forget, guys, subscribe to the channel, comment. Comments really help boost the algorithm stuff, so make sure you comment. And then if you're on Facebook, if that's how you found us, make sure you share the link. And I guess that's it.
And if you don't have a home church on Sunday mornings, Tabernacle of Praise, Kennard, Texas.
Amen.
Yeah.
Pastor
Boom.
Keith Smith.
And if you
11
can't make it
a.m.
there, at least catch us on the
Yeah.
Facebook Live.
on Facebook
Absolutely.
Live.
Yep.
Okay, y'all have
Thanks,
a
guys.
good week. All right,
y'all.
bye.
See ya.